Right, hello guys. Right, so I've decided what I needed to do is do like a character breakdown of my own barb. So what I'm going to show you is like the skills that I use and why, basically. So what I'll show you Paragon first because it seems like the least important thing when it comes down to like class. But anyway, so what I run is I just put all my stuff into strength. But Paragon you can change up quite often, to be fair, and it's like depends how you want to play the game, I guess. Like you could put it onto movement speed if you were doing the speed runs on chests, which a lot of barbs do now. But I think it's been like nerfed recently, so I tend just to keep it in strength. Or if you're struggling at a higher torment level, I only play in torment 1 because I seem it's the most efficient. You don't really need to play any higher just yet. I always stick it into strength because I can cope without the vice. But I suppose when you go up higher, you can have vice or maximum fury. I don't see any point in that, but there is potential for it, I guess. Okay, so offense, it's, in my opinion, on this character, I'd only change between crit damage or chance. Now, like I just did before, for an example, current damage is at 731. If I was to take off, if I was to reset that crit hit chance and then put it all into damage, it's 726. So it's only like a slight change. However, it depends on what your crit hit chance is already. So my crit hit chance there is 46.2%. My crit hit damage before was quite high. It was like 530 or something like that percent. But I'd rather hit more crits and hit a tiny bit less hard on the crits, but I hit more of them, so it's better. And it goes to show on your sheet damage. I don't know, because there's different damage in there. The sheet apparently is not as what's the word like? It doesn't reflect how much you actually do. It's just like a baseline for it. Anyway, so let's go to the skills. So yeah, Paragon wise, oh we did. I didn't show you defense, right? Okay, so you got them. Defense, I use resist all. People could switch it up to life or armor. Life regeneration, I don't use. I just use resist all. I find resist all is a lot better because then you can like, you don't have to worry about the floor so much all the time. You do, but not as bad. Utility, it's either life on hit. If you want gold, obviously gold fine, but it caps at 300%. I've already got over that. You got resource cost and area damage. Don't need area damage. Life on hit seems the most beneficial for my class, and that's probably the main thing that I go from is life on hit. That's probably the best thing I've got as Paragon level goes, because obviously when you're fighting monsters and stuff, you're gonna need life on hit anyway, because you don't want to die all the time. And if you want more attacking spells, which is what I rock at the moment, I have like a lot of damage spells. I want to get life back a lot and stuff like that. So that's why I run Frenzy as well, so it hits faster, gets more life back, whatever. Right, okay, so let's go into the skills part of it. Okay, so as the skills goes, I don't know if there's many builds similar to this, but this is my build at the moment. Like, I've tried the whirlwind, like the new wave of whirlwind, and I don't like it anymore. Like, I spent too many hours on a whirlwind bar before Loot 2.0 and ROS came out to carry on with one. I wanted to try something different. So what I tried was a Frenzy build. I used Frenzy with Berserk, so that increases the duration of Frenzy by 10 seconds. So my attack speed stays with me for 10 seconds, and all I need to do to refresh that is after I've got 5 is hit one enemy once and then bang another 10 seconds. So it just keeps. It's just like a quick damage buff, really, is what I use it for, and a fury gainer, sorry. Which is because it's primary. That's all they do is like they generate. So it's like it's fast on the generation because it's really fast hitting and it keeps the effect for 10 seconds. So it's really useful. Anyway, so then going on to my secondary skill, I use Hammer of the Ancients, and that's just for like fucking burst damage. It's so strong. What I use is Smash, but I did used to use Devil's Anvil, and that's say if you're like running away from something, you just slam that down and keep running. It helps a lot because it'll hit a lot of them that are running towards you anyway, so you can like slow them down, like say in a doorway, and you can just keep banging them with it or whatever. So like that's on a full bar of fury, so you can see how much you can actually do with that. And that does a fucking hell of a lot of damage anyway. And it's like obviously Hammer of the Ancients has a 1% chance, a 1% increased critical chance for every 5 fury that you have. So that's why obviously I've got like Unforgiving on, so my first Hoter normally hits fucking really hard anyways. And then yeah, so we'll just do skills first, then we'll go into the passives. So what my little sort of like combination is ground stomp, wrenching stomp, right? So ground stomp, obviously you stun all your enemies within 14 yards, but wrenching brings them close to you, and then so it pulls them and it increases the area effect. So you're getting a lot of enemies pulled towards you at once, right? And then this is how I can initiate: run in, ground stomp, bring them all to me, and then obviously it's the overpower with Revel, and that's just basically just hits like a fucking tank. It's well good. It's like, I think I used to use that, so I'd pop it and then I'd have increased critical hit chance, which I could switch between Revel and Killing Spree, to be fair. Now I wouldn't want to use the others, but Revel and Killing Spree are the ones I could use. But I like to use Revel, just for the extra damage. Right, so I'll have like the attack speed, I'll stun them with that, hit them with that, and then they're pretty much done by that time. But anyway, the Battle Rage, I use Battle Rage with, it's one of the two of Bloodshed, that's just for AoE more than anything, or Ferocity. Marauder's Rage is another one that I could use. So with Battle Rage lasting for so long, and all you have to do is press it once with the Unforgiven thing that I've got, I don't lose Fury. So that's what I tend to use, Bloodshed, just for the extra damage on other monsters, surrounding monsters. So bring them all together, and hopefully it procs and then bang, and you're hitting loads of them at once anyways. And then obviously you've got your standard Wrath of the Berserker. Now, I use Insanity for the increase, but you could use, is it Slaughter? Yeah, Slaughter. Slaughter for AoE, basically, but because when I pop that, it's normally for a Rift boss, I'd rather the 50% extra damage. So it's just straight towards that boss rather than Slaughter, because then it hits other things as well. So that's like all my skills and how I use them. So I'd add Frenzy, get the proc up to like 5. Is it the proc? Yeah. So it's like, so I've got 5 extra attack speed or whatever it is. What does it work out to be? Frenzy attack speed increased by 15% for 10 seconds each swing. So it goes up by a lot. And then you've got like your hammer, so that hits quite a bit. And it's just ground stomp, bring them in, overpower, smash them. Battle Rage. I'll do a quick battle and show you as well how I'd use it. So then going on to the passive side of things, obviously your Weapon Master is just it's kind of like a staple. It's really useful to have. So if you've got a Mace or Axe, you get critical chance. I suppose I could switch that up with what can I switch that up with? To be honest, maybe Brawler. Brawler is probably a good one. I could have like, instead of Rampage, have Brawler or something like that. Well, anyway, so Bloodthirst is the one that I need to use because for survivability, because I haven't got enough toughness. Well, not enough toughness. I just don't use toughness that much. The Bloodthirst that I use is it's really useful because it's like each point of fury you spend heals you for 578. So if I've got 123 and say I use a Hammer of the Ancients, that's 20 fury. That works out by, how much is that? 500 times 20. So it's a shit ton of health straight off the bat. But then I can spam that because the frenzies come off quite quick, right? And that's obviously generated as well, the fury. And with Unforgiven, I don't degenerate fury, so I'm gaining fury every second anyway. Spamming that with the added attack speed, and then bang, your health goes from like say here to fucking full straight off the bat. And that's like the heal amount of health globes is like double, is a percentage better as well. But that's not really one of the things I go for. And then like your Weapon Master, it's just like 8%, depending on what you use really. And I use a Monster Hunter, so that's just a sword, and I've got a Mighty Sword in the offhand. So as a sword, it gives me 8% increased damage. But I think Mighty Weapon's 1 fury per hit. But I don't know if it goes off if you've got 2. If you're using two-handed, I think, yeah, it's just your main. Yeah, it's just your main. So I could switch them around if I wanted to. If I had a mace or an axe, it would probably be better, so I get the 5% extra critical hit chance. And then Unforgiven I use as well, and so I just don't degenerate fury. So with this build, I could get away with having say Rend on instead, or whatever, because I don't need a fury generator because of this. And you only need a little bit of fury to start off like a Rend. You hit the Rend and you start getting all the fury anyways. But I'd say I like that anyway, just so it's like straight in the battle, and then you've got like bang 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 with the hammer, and you're getting your health back from Bloodthirst and what have you. And then the last, but like definitely not the least of my passive skills that I like, is fucking Rampage. That boosts your damage by fucking loads. It's unreal. It's like basically, so increases your strength by 1% for 8 seconds after killing or assisting in killing an enemy, right? And it stacks to 25. So if you're running around a rift, you're gonna kill 25 monsters, yeah? So then you've got 25%, not just 25 extra, it's 25%. So 7,000, right? Plus 25% of that on top of it when I've got the 25 stacked. So that's going to be a hell of a lot. And then all you have to do is keep, say if you hit 25, it'll last for 8 seconds. As long as you kill another monster in that 8 seconds, it stays, and it just stays and stays and stays. So then you've got your added rampage, you've got your fucking your dart there with that adds critical hit chance, and you've got the gear that I use as well. Gear comes into it a lot, but that's really like preference. It's like I have like Hammer of the Ancients damage, Frenzy damage, and what is it that I've got on here? I think that's the only 2 things I've got at the moment that actually increase it. It is, yeah. But like Frenzy and Hot Hoter, and they're the 2 that I use most. So it's like I've got like a damage buff for those 2 spells, which is useful as shit. So when you're like, it's got like basically, yeah, the damage there as well, the sheet damage that you got there. It doesn't take into account your hidden damage, such as your Hammer of the Ancients damage by 13%. So 13% of what that actually hits is fucking a lot anyway. Same with Frenzy, and that's 11% extra, so I'm hitting harder than what I should be. And that armor as well, if I'm below 20% health, every attack I do is a critical, guaranteed. So I'll just do a quick fight, just to show you how I use this class, basically, just for anyone that's interested in using this type of class. So I'd have the battle rage up, so that instantly boosts into 835k. Right, so on a fights like this, just bring them in with that, Revel, and then just do the Hoter, right? On boss fights, obviously you'd want Frenzy up as well, so you can like spam shit. So you got the 10 there, so already my DPS is at 918k. Now bear in mind that this class isn't fully kitted out yet. Yeah, let's just take this now. Okay, so run up here, and then we'll pop the thingy as well. Now you see the damage is almost at 2 million, and see how it's like drastically going up with each rampage proc. It's at 25 now on the rampage, and that's it basically. It's like 12 million crits and stuff like that. It's not obviously like there is a lot of other different builds that you can use as a barb. This is just the one I tend to use at the moment. It's I don't know if other classes use this. It's just one that I've like decided to use myself rather than looking at other people's and stuff. Just having a look through and feeling what and seeing what works the best for me type thing, and that's it. So what I'll do as well eventually is go into like a gear. Well, it's not even a gear guide, to be honest. What I go for in gear is just attack speed, crit hit damage, and chance, and that's what I try and get on all sorts. Obviously, strength of Vite come into it, and that's a given. But crit hit chance and all that. So here's my actual crit hit chances there. It's at 49, and damage is at almost 500. But yeah, by no means am I like the best barb ever. It's just this is what I like to use. But if you've got any suggestions on other builds and stuff, feel free to add them into the comments and stuff like that, guys. Right, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.